Good morning. Happy Sunday. I don't know when you are going to watch this video. I'm going to premiere it. I had to say this because there are many people that don't use their brains. I was premiering a video and somebody saw the time behind and said that I should have removed the clock, that I am not live. Premiere, it's like a film you are showing. And he abused me. He abused his father's age mate. And I told him that the school fees his father paid to educate him, he should have used it to buy a dog. See, people don't use their heads. When you come to this channel, respect yourself, I will respect you. If you ask questions, I will explain. But you come here that you want to disgrace me, I will mess your father up because I'm your father's age mate. You see, you can't be normal in a crazy world. You'll be a fool. Can't be normal in a crazy world. I am a fighter. That's how I reached here. I fight myself. I fight myself. I want to thank Venus Stitches Japa Road for making this beautiful dress. I want to thank my son-in-law, GC Uda of GC Fancies Aba, for sending the materials that were used to make these clothes. I'm not advertising them because I want clothes from you. They bring my boys, several of them in Aba, bring these materials in container loads from China. One of them brought 24 containers in 1 year. So I don't need to buy clothes until I die. But you must express gratitude. You must advertise those who do things for you so that others can patronize them. That's the purpose. The next thing is that we still have lands for sale, lots of land for sale. Send a message to me, +234 7052 136763, WhatsApp, and I will tell you the locations and the prices. They are in Delta State. We also have a seminar coming up online on the 6th and on the 7th of December. And it is tagged Maximizing Your Life, Ministry, and Finances. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. He will attend to you. Today is Sunday. I didn't go to my local church, small church, where I worship. It's located in our school. Today, I'm going to Otokutu. That's my community. That's my father's place. We have Apoki Waterside there, and we have Apoki Lane in Otokutu. I'm the second medical doctor from that community. 40 years back, when I graduated, I was the second medical doctor. And for those of you who are members of the Robo Nation, I'm going to be speaking to the Robo Nation in their national convention on the 6th of December at Uviamoge. And we're going to be looking at repositioning the Robo Nation for more prosperity. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fireworks. Dr. Apoki, the Chris. Now, on a more serious note, got to a time Nehemiah was depressed when he heard the stories of Jerusalem, how the walls have been broken, how people like Sambalat and Tobias and all kinds of charlatans, evil men, traders, one of them was an Arab trader, traders had turned Jerusalem to a ruin. He was living in the king's palace. He was serving the king. He was born in exile, in captivity, but his heart was still in Jerusalem. I'm speaking to you in the diaspora. I'm speaking to you who is a British citizen of Nigerian extraction, born in the UK, born in the US, born in Poland, born in Australia, born in South Africa. No mind your nationality. As long as you are a black man, you are an African. Let me sing my own. No mind your nationality. As long as you are a Nigerian, you are a Nigerian. Adeshino was discriminated against in South Africa. And she came back to Nigeria and we welcomed her. We're very welcoming people. And she went to the Miss Universe, first runner-up, Miss Africa and Oceania. So many benefits have accrued. I know Nigerians with British citizenship. Some of them, like one lady that plays for the female team, she's a white lady. Is it Ekong? They could play for the UK, but they chose to play for Nigeria. So a time comes when Nigeria is the mother you run to for warmth. And no matter how much you are celebrated in the US, in the UK, a time comes when they will look at you with corner eye. And sometimes what you are entitled to, you might not get. They might look for one loophole to push you aside. And the truth of the matter, this is still one of the best places to be born. And we are one of the most intelligent human beings on earth. One of the most enterprising human beings on earth. One of the most humorous people on earth. And it comes to the music industry, athletics, football, science, technology. No matter what, you might not know that the car called Volt was designed by a Nigerian that attended Kebbi State Polytechnic. It's one of the best car designers in the world. I have classmates as medical doctors who are wow all over the world. But something has died in us. And that is the love for this nation. I didn't sleep early. I was thinking about this country. That joy of being a Nigerian, that pride of being a Nigerian, that joy of our conquests, that joy of coming back home. I think in 2003, I was in South Africa for 3 months. A week before coming back home, I could not sleep. I wanted to come home. In those days, if I traveled anywhere, days before coming back home, I always imagine Nigeria. Think of the warm embrace of my wife, my family, those around me. Today, our children, the first thing they tell you is that they don't want to come back to this country. When I went to see my children and my grandchildren, I was thinking what nation will this boy, these girls come and visit? And I was thinking, I will create a micro Europe within the system for them. But they will drive out, they will go to the market, they will go for sightseeing. What sights will they see? Is it the rowdiness? Is it the chaos? Is it the madness of Sambalats and Tobiases? I saw the video of Wike quacking the Indian Prime Minister to pass. Somebody said that he had diarrhea. If you had diarrhea, can't you go back? There must be facilities. Can't you pass another road? The kind of embarrassment our leaders are giving to us. The kind of rubbish you see on television. Kind of nonsense you hear. Kind of criminality. This year, Independence Day, Independence Day, you see the children marching. You see Nigerians wear green, white, green all over the place. I didn't see green, white, green like before. That joy of nationhood is dying in us. That joy of citizenship is dying in us. In Frankfurt, I saw people displaying their German passports. You know, I saw people with, I felt sad. My nation is dying. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, and there we wept, when we remember Zion. And the wicked carried us away, captivity required from us a song. Tell me, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Birds that live in cages think that the ones that are flying free are mad. Most of you who were not born in the era that I was born, who did not see the golden days of this nation, even though we didn't have internet, even though we didn't have expressways, go and look at pictures of Lagos in the 60s. We had hope. We had a sense of citizenship. Today, our children are crossing deserts, crossing oceans, just to live outside this country. They are escaping. If it does not grieve you, you are a wizard. If it does not grieve you, you are a witch, and it will not be well with you. They want us to swallow the pain of slavery that they have put us. Even though Nehemiah was born in captivity in a strange land, the stories of old of Jerusalem was still in his heart, and he wanted a restoration. Let me tell you, where is Lai Mohammed? He is out. He's working for one organization. Stupid human beings that have no investment in this country. Lai Mohammed. Useless human beings that have no investment in this country. At his age, if he had a thriving business, if he had an institution, he should be here. Where's Oshibanjo? Where's Oshibanjo? Even in his church and in the country, he is there doing one job for United Nations or somewhere and somewhere. Where is Femi Adesina? He is somewhere. Reno Mokri, gallivanting all over the place. But we are here. They're telling us buy made in Nigeria. And they are wearing Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, and all kinds of things. They are telling us that hope is coming. What is that his name now? Onanuga, Bayo. I know you long time ago. And you're still playing this slave role. Slave. They're telling us hope. Hope. When things are going down. They've made us slaves in our own country. Grieves my spirit that children right on the floor, not far from the biggest gas reserve in West Africa. It grieves my spirit that just a few kilometers from here, they are flaring gas and the windows of the school broken. There are no benches, no desks. Grieves me that the northern elites, when you see them in the airport, they are making like this. Go see their communities, dusty. Go see their colleges. See their primary schools. Poverty. Grieves my spirit that an oil-producing community, you don't have roads. It grieves my spirit that people without brains want to force their stupidity on us. Grieves my spirit that people who don't know anything apart from the rot, those of you who were not born, who were born after Shagari's time, 1979, shut up your dirty mouth. You don't know anything about this country because they made you special assistant of 250,000 naira a month, and they steal your father's future and your mother's future. Grieves my spirit. That joy of nationhood is dying in the minds of many of us. But can we arise like Nehemiah? Can we arise like Nehemiah and be grieved in our spirit and say, never again. Never again. All these wicked INEC people, wicked judiciary, wicked security agencies that prop up this evil. The time has come. The Bible says, pray for your leaders. He did not specify. Time has come that we need to pray, God, pull down this evil empire. Pull down this evil aristocracy. Pull down these evil politicians. Raise in Nehemiah. Hear our cry, O Lord. My nation is dying. The joy of coming home. The confidence of traveling in your own country. We drove from Germany to Netherlands, to Belgium, back. Nobody put stick in front of us. Nobody asked for identities. Even at night, people were driving. That was how it was in this nation. I could drive from Lagos to Aba throughout the night with unregistered vehicles in a convoy when I was importing cars. Sick, comatose, die. wherever, whoever, however, God raised men of passion again who have the desire to rebuild this nation. I thought that these Labour Party legislators, Labour Party elected officers in the Senate and in the House of Assemblies, in the House of Representatives, will be different. They are all the same. They are there for their belly's sake. Governor T doing well in Abia State, but there are criminals around him that need to be fished out. At the same time in Israel, when there was this national decay in captivity, there was also a decay in spirituality. Let me ask you one question. That joy of going to church, that joy of hearing the choir sing, that joy of listening to the message, that deep spiritual experience that you encounter in church, sometimes you just stay and you weep for joy. When you hear majesty, worship his majesty. When you hear songs like that, I was born to be consecrated unto, I can't remember those, I don't know the wordings. When you go to church and you have this sense of fulfillment, this sense of an encounter. The King Gracious Neze, now Elder Gracious, the day he sang, "You are destined to win. You're surrounded by his love, guided by his power, destined to win." Boy, I wept because I was passing through real trauma, real financial distress. I was sitting in front row, these long benches, long wooden benches. You are destined to win. Today, I can see that song was a personal prophecy. No be say they praise, oh, now praise are they praise, oh. What is that? Who asked you whether you are mad? You dance like, don't tell me you dance like David. You are not a king. You're not filled with the Spirit of God. You are filled with the spirit of the world. When you hear a message and you are convicted, when you hear a message and the evil habits you had, you will throw them away. There was a sense of the presence of God. Silver and gold we didn't have, but what we had we give to the world. In the name of Jesus, today we have silver and gold. We have all the limousines. We have all the fanciful hairstyles, fanciful grammar, fanciful electronics, air conditioning. But the presence is not there. The essence of his presence is not there. I don't know if you feel that reluctance sometimes to go to church. I don't know if you feel the anger at the end of service. I don't know if you are still there just because you need to be there. You can't go to the shrine. You can't go away. Or is it that you have stopped going? Is it that you have said, let them take their church? Today, when you listen to a preacher Your antennas are alert, whether he is trying to manipulate you, whether he's trying to use gimmicks to get your money, whether he's trying to enslave you mentally. You start questioning his sincerity. We didn't have that suspicion and fear. And these charlatans capitalized on that and progressively enslaved people. But there is the need for Ezras to arise. Got to a point when they were rebuilding the temple, the walls of Jerusalem, and they brought out the word of God and read. And they read and read, and the people cried. They don't know whether they were weeping for their sins, or weeping for what they had lost, or weeping for the return of the glory of God. When you go into some of these churches nowadays, they look like painted sepulchres, dead men, dead souls in church. You can, if you are sensible or sensitive, you can feel the manipulation. You can feel the iron law of oligarchy, the elite capture. Does it happen to you? God raise Ezra. Take us back to the word of God. When I see the kind of questions people ask me here on this channel, I just know that we need to go back to the study of the word of God. Study to show yourself approved, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Don't let that joy die in your heart. Don't let that personal relationship with the Holy Spirit die in your heart. I have a lot of friends, ordained ministers all over the world. They no longer go to church. Please, take your Bible again, read it, spend time to pray, particularly this festive period. Don't join in the cacophony. Christmas is not in the Bible. All the Father Christmas and all, most of them are unscriptural. They are just dates that people set out to, and it has been taken over by unbelievers. The Chinese and the Indians produce the fireworks. They produce the Father Christmas attires. They produce the Christmas trees and the lights. They are not Christians. It's a business. It's a business. New year, new year, new year. Sow seed for insurance for the new year. The Ethiopian New Year is different from the Gregorian New Year. They have their own calendar. Let's separate truth from fantasy. The pressure they put you in church, if you have not achieved, is dangerous to our souls. Godliness with contentment is great gain. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. This channel is to raise 1 million entrepreneurs in Africa. But it must be with godliness. It must be legitimate. It must have humanity. I'm going to give the kind of thanksgiving I've never given in this church. I told them I must be their guest speaker until I tell them I don't want again. And I give scholarships every year. Why? I found it difficult to pay school fees, so I'm paying back. You can create avenues to enjoy God, for humanity to enjoy you, for you to serve humanity, for you to serve God. Don't get discouraged by men of God like us. Don't get irritated by what is happening in the church. Focusing on Christ, the author and finisher of our faith. Let that joy, somebody say it, let that joy come again. Renew my first love, oh Lord. Let that joy well up in me again. I watched 2 videos yesterday. I saw a boy singing, "Pass me not, O gentle Savior." And then there was a 3-year-old boy, crucified. He sang this song and he could imagine Jesus. Then he broke down and wept. And I wept for a long time. I've not had that in-depth appreciation of Christ. I want to say one more thing, and then I will go and preach. In those days, I saw a woman in the UK slapping her husband. A Yoruba woman. Yorubas are known for respect of tradition, slapping her husband in the UK. And she was being video recorded. I don't know if it's a drama. Don't mind me. As marriages go older, they grow apart. They separate. Business, money, children, position, politics. The 2 are like this. Then money, business, employment, children, in-laws, friends, societal pressure, even church will start pulling you apart. After some time, you just become companions or prison mates. You can't divorce, but you're just there. That initial joy of your relationship with one another. Recently, my wife declared me runaway husband. She will stay in this bedroom, this big house, this big compound, with cars there, with money in account, but I was not there. And I'm happy she experienced it, because at one time, those things looked as if they were the reasons we woke up every day instead of 2 of us. I decided to marry well. I decided to love without restraint. She was AS. I was AS. I married her. I said, if we don't have children, don't trouble me. When I entered the house in those days, it was my wife's name I called first. Even till today, when it is a certain time I've not seen her, I will call her. We sleep in this small bedroom. I do everything to make her happy. I think she does too. But just like most marriages, after some time, other things start to become the priority or priorities in your life. I don't speak English well. And then that initial joy, if she was traveling to come and meet me where I was preaching, the clock runs too slowly. I remember the day I drove from Lagos throughout the night, got to Aba around, 5:30 or early in the morning. I remember her vividly. And when I horned, she knew I was the one. She ran and opened the gate and embraced me. I can still feel the warmth more than 28 years ago. I can still feel the warmth. I remember when I went to Madagascar, in Morandova. Morandova is in the Indian Ocean. And I missed my wife. One of the nights, I felt her physical presence on the bed with me. I still remember that day and that vision. I want to ask a simple question. Are you going through what I'm saying? There are too many things in between you. Your desire for Western feminism, Western rules and regulations that put children, pets, women, plants before the husband. Has it separated you? Or your desire to take over the house? Is it the gap in between? Or your desire, you are a nurse, your husband, you are earning more than your husband. You are a medical doctor, you are earning more than your husband. He brought you to the UK and to the US and you are doing American, European feminism. And the man is just like a slave. Let me tell you one thing. Many of us men are dying slowly in our marriages. Dying. They are dying. You and the children will form a camp. I asked my wife yesterday that all the money we are looking for, all the institutions we are building, all the struggles, for what? She said, so that we will not beg, so that can have something to fall back on, this, that. It was after a long thought that she said, so that we can enjoy ourselves. You see, this life is very short. Senator Ifeanyi Ubah was buried a few days back. All the fanfare, all the Rolls Royce, all the chariots, all the caskets, all gone. All the visitors will go, the wife will feel the loneliness. Why did you get married in the first instance? If you don't want to enjoy yourselves, you don't want to enjoy yourselves. You don't want to enjoy yourselves. The average Christian man is sexually deprived and starved. The average wife of a rich man who is still monogamous is lonely. She won't marry cars, she won't marry television. They might struggle for those things in the beginning, but after some time, they make no sense. Let that childish, juvenile love be sparked again. Forget most of these things and focus on what brought you together. These are the three things I slept with. These are the three things I thought about. May they be rekindled in your life. And may the joy of life, of living, come back to you. The joy of serving God, the joy of your salvation. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And may the joy of being a Nigerian be restored to us. God bless you. Remember, I have a webinar coming up on 6th, 7th December. I'll be relaying that from Port Harcourt. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. I still have properties for sale. God bless you.